And the first thing that you will need, or I will recommend you to have, is a Google account, like a Gmail account, because even it will work for any account, then you can, the access to your Google Drive and everything will be a little bit, you know, difficult. If you are using Yahoo or any other account, it will be, for having access to your drive will be a little bit difficult, because Google Classroom is also working with Google Drive. So I have this is one of the class that I have that I will show you later, that I create one for Spanish, but okay, let me start. You click on this icon here, and they will show you all the choices you have in your Google Classroom. So the first thing that I will do is you open this one, and that will let you create your own classroom. Because I'm already in my Google Classroom, I will click on this plus sign, and I will say create a class.
Can you go back just a couple of steps and tell us exactly how you find Google Classroom on that little grid in the corner?
Okay, let me open. There is many ways. You are in Google. You mean in this one? Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Click on this icon here. It looks like, I don't know, little square here. Mm-hmm. And then if you don't find that, because that can happen too, let me go back to this. Sometimes when you click on that one, you will not find Google Classroom on the top. I move Google Classroom to the top manually. Sometimes it's just at the very bottom. But even if you don't find that, you can search on Google Classroom, because they should be somewhere at the bottom. If not, you click more. And then if not there, you can even more from Google, and then we'll find the icon and place here. But you can move the icon to any position you want. I had that always on top because I use that a lot. So maybe when you open the Google Classroom for the first time, you will not see the icon on your classroom. It maybe will be at the bottom, or maybe you cannot see that. So you can bring to the top if you are planning to use a lot like I do. So you can rearrange all the icons as you wish.
Great, thank you.
If not, you go and say, okay, Google Classroom, just type that, and they will. And they will show you on the search. The first one is looking now for that. And here it is. You just click on this one, and of course it will open the one that I have already. Oh, thank you. The one that I have open already. If you don't have any open, they will start asking you, give me your Gmail account or any email, and then you will have the opportunity to click here. And that will be the first step that I will do, creating a new class. So you click here, either one. You can join one, like the one that I'm going to create for this PD, or create a new class. And they ask you, okay, to sign and agree on some agreement here, but then you continue. And the class name will be Google Classroom PD. And I will show you how to join that. Sections, subject, PD, and room if you want to give a room or name of the room, and that will be enough. Section, teachers only. And that's it. It's already created the Google Classroom. So it's like a really fast way to create. And now we have that Google Classroom here. So how you can join a Google Classroom? On the new version, you click on this icon here, and they will give you a code for that. That will be the code that you will use for joining the Google Classroom. So you type Google Classroom in your browser, and when they say you want to create or join, just say join and then type that code. in the Google Classroom. So I will recommend you, because I'm going to attach the slide for Google Classroom. So please, if you can write down or make a screenshot of that, and keeping for joining the Google class as soon as you can. And then you will have access to this and many other resources that I use online. By the way, I didn't mention to you that not only I'm using Google Classroom, but together as a central point, I'm using Google Classroom for so many other resources that I will share with you too, for online, like videos, quizzes, and many other things.
So I have a question.
Go ahead.
So is this Google Classroom one for all the teachers, or we each are going to create a classroom for each of us?
Kelly, you want to answer that?
Luis and I had initially talked about how that each teacher would create their own classroom. Now that we're going through it, I'm thinking that it might be easier if I create a classroom for everybody, kind of like we do in just with Google Drive. And then you guys are able to just easily access it. What do you think? What would you prefer?
Sorry, I'm not familiar with Google
Okay,
Classroom. So I'm a little bit confused, because I know we have a drive and like a Spanish or like teachers, and each of us has a folder there with our classes. So I'm wondering if it's going to be the same, or this Google Classroom is going to be for only sources, like all the sources that we all can put into the classroom. So yeah, I think I'm a little bit lost.
Okay, just one second. Did Courtney make it in? Oh, there you are, Court. Hi. Okay. We'll introduce you in just 1 second, okay, Courtney? All right. So here's the purpose of the Google Classroom for Bilingual Bridges. We're going to transition, rather than having everybody having a folder on Google Docs and uploading all the documents, class videos, and everything there. What we're going to do is transition to Google Classroom. Everything will be able to be saved in your classroom. So you have a classroom for each student, and you'll be able to just have a one-stop shop, essentially, of your videos, any presentations, anything that you're wanting to share with your student. And the reason that we want to make this transition is because the format of the platform is much easier, right? And so even though we have things essentially centralized using like the Google Drive and everyone having their Google folders, this will just keep it, the formatting and the platform are just a lot more user friendly. And so we think that it's going to be good for teachers. It's going to be good for students. It's gonna, and you'll see as Luis goes along, it's typical. It's typical to what we've seen in some online classes in college, right? Or there's an online portion to classes in college, same kind of thing. So he's been able to use this with one of his classes, and he puts on like quizzes and things like that with a deadline, and it'll just automatically send a reminder to the students and things like that. So basically, instead of using Google Drive, we'll transition everything over to Google Classroom.
Okay, and so the classroom PD, what that means? Like PD?
No, this is only for today, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
This is not for really, I mean, the only reason I create this one is to show you the whole process, how to use, and also sharing some tool that may be useful for you, like how to assign a video, how to assign a quiz, and then you can go over and review the PD, like having all the info there, okay? That's the main idea of me creating this, so you can have access anytime. And if you think that you don't need, you can cancel your subscription to Google Classroom anytime you want. You don't have to wait for me. So you can close your account and that will be fine. It's only for sharing what I'm going to do today. That's only the reason. And answering one of your question is your folder, the one that you have in Google Drive, every single thing that you have there can be used in your Google Classroom. You will not lose any piece of information because you can also attach that folder to your classroom, and that will be really easier. You
So
can tell Google Classroom, I want to use this folder, and they will use that folder. I will show you in a moment after.
And so you can create also different folders for each student, just like we have been
Yeah.
doing so far.
Actually,
Okay.
yeah, actually they automatically they create a folder for each student. Every time one student join, automatically Google will store all the quizzes and all the things the student do in that particular folder.
And in regards storage, because we've been experiencing some issues with the storage with Kelly, and Kelly knows about it.
yeah.
Is this going to be in bilingual, like in some way in bilingual speeches storage, so we don't have the same issue that we were running into before?
Luis, did you freeze?
Kelly,
So,
yeah, I can answer. I mean, the storage is what will be one issue. Sorry, I think I cleaned the wrong one. Okay. The storage will be an issue, of course, because you will be using, if you are using your own account, the storage will be using your uh, drive capacity. So either one, you have to purchase more, or you need to move to another place like a Dropbox or any other
rather
free.
than, but we don't want to be having like all of these different places. Like we want to keep everything really streamlined. So is there any way that everything can just be like owned by Bilingual Bridges so that
Yeah,
I
yeah,
am paying for the extra storage and no one else has to worry about it?
yeah, you can do that.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Right.
I'm trying to remove this screen that is move it away from this window that I can know. Anyway, I think. Open and
Gabriella has one quick thing to share.
go ahead.
Sorry. So basically, I think it was Angie. One of the big advantages of Google Classroom that I found is that you can assign that class code that Mr. Bayo just showed us, right? For us, TYD for GG. You can assign that to each student that you have. That student can at any time access that folder, and so to any resources that you put there. And as Mr. Bellio mentioned, there can be quizzes, right? Assignments, some theory, things like that. So that is really, it's an easy way to access via the web, right? Google Classroom. So it is that customization. In a folder structure, it is way more difficult to do that, I think.
Yeah, the other thing, you can have access to Google Classroom not only through your computer normally. You can also have, actually I have in my cell phone. Yep. So if the student make a comment or send me a message, I can get that, and I say, okay, he need my help, or he's asking for more quizzes, or he want to ask for more time, because you can set the time, the frame time where they want to submit their answers or the quizzes, or so it's, I found very useful for, like, you will probably be more in touch with your student using Google Classroom than any other way, because if you have your phone with the Google Classroom, it's always like posting something. If you see, like, let's say, I saw an article on the internet that I like to share with my student, I just click on the link and send to the Google Classroom so the student can read that, and then I can make a comment. It's quite useful.
Okay, thank you.
And okay, let me start. The screen here is where the student will see what you are posting. So for instance, one post will be, the first one that I always do is welcome. Hopefully it will work. Okay. Welcome to Google Classroom. And that will be my first post. And this is this one is not any assignment, okay? So notice that I just typed the welcome, but at the same time, if I want to share with the student a video from YouTube, I click here, and I notice there is a window that asks me, what kind of video do you want to share with your student? Probably I don't have any video right now in mind, so I will say, okay, any video that is explaining Google Classroom. And then I search for that, and they start listing on Google.
Hey Google, turn off the timer.
So you can select any video that you want to share with the student. Like, let me share this one. I didn't watch the video before, but I will recommend you to watch the video. But I just want to share this one. And as soon as I share this one, the student will see they will have access to watch the video. It's 16 minutes. Again, I didn't watch the video before, but if you have the link, you can click on here and go to the URL and copy and paste the link for the particular video that you want to share with the student. But sometimes you don't even have to have any video in mind. Just go and search, and then of course watch the video first, and then you can share. I didn't post anything yet, so it's not ready for being watched. On this icon here, you can attach any document in your drive. You click on My Drive, and they will show you all my folders, everything that I have in my drive. And then, okay, this is something that I was doing last week. No, actually this week, just checking, reviewing an assignment for one of the students. So I did some grading and mark on the paper he sent me, so I can attach that one too. And, or you just, any link on the internet you can attach to the a stream that will be a comment, okay? It will be like a posting something, and then you say post, or you can click on here on this one on the right, and you can schedule or save as a draft. If you are not sure you want to post something right away, I will recommend to use this option. You review, and then you can decide when to post or edit again. But in the schedule option, you have the choice to select when the post will be available for the student. So for instance, let me post this one today, 8 in the morning. Of course, they are saying it's already 8 in the morning, so I will say 12, okay? Noontime. So that will be available at noontime, and they show you what is available for its safe announcement that will be posted at 12. Let me go to the next one, is classwork. In classwork, we have different choices here. Create an assignment, quiz assignment, create a question, material, or reuse a post, or create a new topic, okay? You can also create a new topic if different from this one that you have here. So let's start with the first one. Let me create a quiz assignment. Let me go to the second one first, and then I will go back to the first one. On this one, the difference of the quiz assignment compared with the assignment itself is already they are using Google Form. This is a quiz on Google Form, and if you are not familiar, you need to learn how to create a form with Google. I'm not going in detail because this will be like another PD for how to create a form, how to create a quiz online. So that will be basically what they do when they say, let me cancel again. The difference between quiz assignment and assignment. Assignment can be any assignment that you pick online and you want to share with the student, or you have in your Google folder, in your Drive folder. But the quiz assignment, by default, they already offer you. You don't have to, by the way. You can do anything else, but by default, they offer you a Google form where the student will have to answer some question, as many as you want, and they will grade and they will give you a point. That will be the difference. When you click on assignment, is practically open to any assignment. It can be a PDF file, or it can be a video, or it can be a Word, a Google Doc, anything you want to share with the student. So first assignment can be watch a video. That will be one. And the point, you change the point here. You say, okay, instead of 100, by default it's always 100. And the due date, that's an important thing that you have in the assignment. You can say when the student need to finish, okay, on January 31st, and the topic will be, you create a topic. You will say, okay, that will be video. And then you pick the video, and you can go to Google Drive, to the YouTube, and say, okay, first, okay, Spanish pronunciation. And they will give you a list, or if you have the URL, you can pick that one. Learn Spanish in 12 minutes, that will be the assignment. And then you share with the student anything you want, okay? Questions so far?
No.
Pretty
Okay.
self-explanatory.
I have one quick question.
Go ahead.
So if each folder, if you have your classroom and then you have each folder for individual students, when you share things on the stream, is everybody in your classroom going to see, or can you assign just certain students to be able to see things on the stream?
Okay. Let me do that. Okay, I have one. Let me create one assignment, and that will be only for Luis, okay? So I will, let's say it can be a video. It can, on here, you can select your student. You can select all of them or just the one that you want to assign. But at the same time, let's say you are selecting, or you are attaching a PDF file. I will say, let me see if I have any recent document that I want to share with any other student. Let's see if I have any. Okay, this is my niece point. And what I'm going to do, okay, I select my student that I want to assign that one, right? But you don't want the student to you want the student to answer and by themselves writing on the assignment, and you don't want them to write in your copy. So instead of a student can view file, you do the following. Click here and say, make a copy for each student. So the same file that you are sharing will have, every single student will have a copy, so they can edit, they can modify, because if you leave only can view file, they cannot edit your document. If you let the student can edit your file, it will modify your original assignment. But when you make a copy for each student, every single student will get a copy of that, and you don't have to worry that your master copy will be modified by any student writing on that one. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you. That was great.
Okay.
So, Luis, I know you create this one for today's presentation, but would you mind showing us like the one that you already used, like so we can see how?
Okay.
Like one that is already has
okay,
work
this
in
is
it.
Yeah. Okay, this is the Spanish one that I create. By the way, I just changed the. I like very often I change the theme for that, and you can do that too. You can select a different one, or you can even attach your own, like English or math. You can modify the theme. giving like a more customized, you know, look to your one. Let me pick this one. And I can change that quickly, and there will be a different picture on my Spanish one. Okay, here is my all the assignment that I gave. I have 2 students right now in this class, and for instance, I attached to them. This is a quizzes. This is another software that is not related to Google. Well, it's related somehow because from the quizzes I can assign to the student. If I click on this one, they can open a quiz where the student will be answering some of these questions, and I use that online. They can do that online, or this is a PDF file. So this is my current class. Let me see if I can, if I show you one that is interactive. Okay, let me see quizzes. Where are you? Like this one here. It's going as, I mean, the connection is so slow. It's trying to open that. Okay, this is the 2 students that I have in the class, and I can see if they already answer or no. It's assigned to them, but I can go to the instruction and I will see if they already answered this one. Actually, this one is a video, and they need to answer a few questions. When I click here, I will see in another website. This is another one that I will recommend you to use because those are videos where you can make your own questions, or you can use somebody else's question on that. So this is here. They will tell you if the student already finished or turned in the assignment, but as you notice, they still didn't submit anything. That's why it's assigned to 2, but none of them answered the video question yet. Okay. By the way, those students asked for 2 weeks break. That's why they are not working right now on the assignment I gave to them. And in the classwork, you will see every single assignment I gave to them. There is a Spanish unit overview. There is, you know, lesson, even audio, video. So I can create every single topic, so the student will have access to that. And here on people, I have the 2 names of the student, and I can check. Actually, this is an option that I share my Google Classroom with Kelly. So you can share with another, invite another teacher under people option. You can invite another teacher by clicking here and invite somebody else to join as a teacher, not as a student, because when you share the code, it's as a student that you will be enrolled on the Google Classroom, and they will not see the same thing as you are seeing right now, because I'm logging as a teacher, and of course they cannot modify or do anything. And here are my 2 students, and here on the right, you can email to the student, or you can select any action for the student, like removing a student, mute a student, or email a student. And those are actions that you can do with the student. And you can also see a student performance by clicking in the student. If you click in the name of the student, they will list you how many quizzes they answer, how many, I mean, it's like a great book for the student.
Thank you for sharing that one. I was curious.
Yeah. And I can show you another one that I have with even more activity than this one. I have another one here. Let me see if I can. Okay, those are my daytime classes. And this is the way the students see. And if you, let's say, let me open this 4-hour. I'm teaching chemistry, by the way, for those of you who didn't hear were not present on the first part. Okay, let me show you, let me pick this student, okay? Don't make public. Here is her performance. And this is in Google Classroom. Can you see that? Missing, how many grades she got? Can you see that?
No.
No?
No.
Okay, let me share this pause. Let me share that screen again. Let me change the new share. That will be this one. How about, okay. How about now?
Yep.
Okay, I pick one student. And this is of course, I have the email of the student and the name and all. I'm not going to share that with you, but you can see that I can check how well or not she's doing in the class. So she has so many missing activity, some other with the lower points. So this is like your grade book for every single student in your class. So this is the class that I'm teaching in the morning. And so you can keep track of the student, what the student is doing in your Google Classroom, and you keep a good communication with them.
Yes, I can see. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let me go back to the PD classroom. So we were in the classwork. We were creating questions. This is another choice you have. Sometimes you want to post only one question, so you click on this one, and that will be it can be like a short answer or multiple choice, either one. But it's only like how are we doing today? It's like a quick feedback. And that a student will answer, you can assign or ungrade, you don't have to grade everything. And you can also, a student can reply to each other, or a student can edit the answer after. So you have many choices on this question option on Google Classroom. So that's another thing that you can use for your classes. Again, create question is only one question. Every time you create a question will be only one. And again, you can also attach a video or a file from your drive by clicking here. You will see your drive, and they will show you your recent documents, or upload from the computer if you have already on your computer saved. That will be another way to do that. And what else we have here? And the other after question material. What is a material? It will be any information like an online textbook or maybe an article, anything you want to share with the student that you will not grade or will not really make any assignment out of that. It's only for sharing, like this is a nice website. I recommend you to go and visit and watch or read what they post there. And sometimes what I normally do is sharing with them. We have some online books, so I share the link with them, and they will have access to the online book. And that's the main use that I do with the material choice. When you are in your classwork and click on material, there is a different that will not be any grade on this one. And the best one that I use is reuse a post. You click on this one, and they will ask you from what class do you want to reuse your. So you can click on Spanish and say, okay, I want to reuse travel Spanish phrase, reuse that one. And they will be taking from one class, maybe different or the same one, to the new class, and then you make gray or no, or set the due date. You can even change the topic, and then you assign, and that will be there in your class. When you go to the string, I immediately will show travel Spanish phrase that I took from the Spanish to the Google Classroom PD. So this is another useful tool for the Google Classroom that you can reuse that. Topic will be for creating the topic, like, I have already video. So I want to create a topic that is called quiz and add that one. And that will be under this area here, video, and I have quiz already. So it's like organizing your class on video and quiz or homework or any classification you want to give to the students, to the classroom, sorry. Any question? I think most of the, here on the left, you will see if there is any pending assignment or coming thing. So they will show you everything that is you assigned to the student. And on classes, you will see all your classes have now the PD and the Spanish shared with you. Let's say on this tool here, you can set the class setting, like modifying. Let's say you don't want that name anymore, or you want to change the code. You can do that, or show the delete. If you want to show, sometimes you delete a post and you want to show all the delete on the teacher side, you can do that too. You can reset the code, like if you are starting a new class and you don't want to offer to share the code with the student, you can or disable the code. There is so many options on the class settings that you want to try.
And what about when the student stops taking the classes? Like, how do you take him? Like, how do you deactivate or make them?
Okay, let me go to the Spanish one. Okay, let me go to the Spanish one. You can do, go here, let's say Megan, select Megan, and then remove from your class. You can do that manually. And if you don't, and because the student still has your code, what you can do is resetting a new code. So instead of, you can do the following, you can remove the student from your class and at the same time create a new code by going to setting, go here and say, okay, reset that one, and then we'll create a new one for you. And that's the one that you will share with your new student. So the old student will not have access anymore to your class and already were removed, so they cannot have any interaction.
Okay, thank you.
One time I had to do the following. One of my students, he was posting something that I will not consider appropriate. So I went here and I mute the student. So when you mute the student, they cannot post, they cannot make any comment on your class. The student was, playing with the Google Classroom for the first time, and he was feeling that with so many other things that I didn't want. And I said, okay, I told the student, I'm going to mute you until you don't behave in my class. So they cannot, because sometimes they well, I'm talking about a 17-year-old boy.
Oh, high school.
Yeah. So well, of course, then you can unmute when the student agree that, okay, I'm not going to do that anymore. Okay, then I can.
Instead of sending him out to the hallway, you just mute him.
Yeah.
Another feature in Zoom, which I don't think any of us have used before because we haven't really needed to, but like in larger classrooms, we can not only mute kids, but we can, or adults, I guess, we can send them to breakout rooms. So,
Yeah.
okay, yes, it could be used as like timeout. Here's some independent work, but whatever, we can use it for small group things too.
That's awesome.
One thing that I want to share with you, this is something that I use a lot with in my class, is a software that I use together with Google Classroom. Actually, I use two of them because they have a very, easy interaction. Let me see if let me know if you can. If you can, can you see what I'm typing now? So I'm making, yes, no?
Yeah.
Okay. This is a website that I use a lot because they have quizzes for everything that can give you idea how to, practice language or anything with your student. Is free, and it has an interface with the Google Classroom. Let me see if I can open mine. So far, it's free. I'm not saying it will be free forever. Okay. So this is the one. And the good thing about this, okay, let me use my account. You can even use your email account, okay? And then you do the following. Okay, let's find a quiz on Spanish grammar, I guess. And they will give you many, hundreds of quizzes that somebody else create for you. So you can go over them and say, okay, I want basic Spanish grammar. So I had that quiz and I can duplicate and copy to my account. Once I duplicate, I can modify the quiz. And so they show you that you can see the answer just in case somebody else, sometimes, it's not easy to create an online quiz. This one had 25 questions. And you have that. You can go over, because it's already my account, I can edit that one. I think I make a copy and add to my collection. And they tell you it's from 9 to 10 grade. And how can I share this one in Google Classroom? Okay, you go here and say homework game. You tell when you want the quiz to be due. Okay, February, and proceed. And then after, I will say share in my Google Classroom. So you don't have to copy the link or do anything. Of course, I think I'm in my account. No, let me change account because I had two accounts, one for the school and the other one personal one. I'm using my personal now. So this is yeah. So you have to make sure you are using the account for the class you are teaching. Otherwise, it will send to the different one. It's kind of a slow. Okay, hurry up, computer. Okay. They will just verify. They will ask you a few questions. Say allow, no problem. I know the website. I know it's safe. And then now you have the PDF for teacher, which is the one that I just create. Let me click on the bottom, and you can change the name and say today quiz, and I will share right away. And if I go back to my classroom, that will be there. It will take a second to do that, but I think it's no, okay, it's already there. And if I go back to the classroom, it should be, let me refresh because sometimes.
You put it in the teacher's PD.
Yeah.
Other class.
Yeah, that's fine. So where is this? Okay. There it is. And then you click on that. They have a mobile link and web link. and the student can click on both of them and will work on that. And the best thing about this is as soon as the student finish doing that, they will post the grade in Google Classroom. You don't have to go anymore to the website for checking how many questions the student missed. And they will start, as soon as the student finish, they will share with you the grade. Okay, now they're asking me if I'm going to play that. And let's see if we remember. How many of you know Spanish? So that will be, oh, they're asking me a few questions. Okay, great. Oh, because
Hogwarts. Yes, me.
yeah.
Yeah, do the.
Which one? No, because that will be on my record. Okay, I'm not going to play. Yeah, no, I'm not going to play that because I don't want to. I mean,
it
I'm
would
a
be a
teacher.
great record. Though.
Yeah. No, it will be on my on my teacher account because that's an account that I'm using. Actually, this is a real one. It's not. I don't want to grown, information because then they will think, okay, he's a student too. But anyways, if you want to see the quiz and this and the result, you can go. I think there is. You can go here and it's still asking me question. Because I never opened this account with this. Yeah, well, that's okay. You can go and review here the performance of the student, how many missed the question, and view the quiz again. We keep asking info about, because they assume that I'm a student anyway. Going back to the Google Classroom, that's one that I use for my class, and the other one that I also use, I don't know if you are familiar with this one, Puzzle. Have you ever worked with this one? Are you familiar with this one?
No.
Okay, I copy a student link, so let me go to the teacher one. Okay, this one allow you to okay, as a teacher with Google. Yeah, that's the account I want to use. Can you see my screen, guys? Because sometimes I'm moving too fast back and forward. Are you seeing my screen?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay. Again, I assigned video to these two students. And let me share this one that Kelly just answered. They gave you the grade, if they watch the video 100%, how many questions they missed. So this is the result of one and the question she answered on the video. And the good thing about this is when you go to the video itself, that will be this one. Let me see if I can go to the content. Let's say Spanish. I'm going to pick any Spanish thing. Okay, this one has 7 questions. You can modify that, by the way. And when the student are watching the video pause and ask question to the student. See? So it can be related to the video or any question. You can also modify, you copy the video to your account, and then you can create your own questions. So it's not like a passive watching a video, but they need to answer question once the video starts. So here are the questions that this teacher create for the video. But again, you can create your own question. You can even drag the question to the left in the edit, but you need to copy first to your account. Still is free, and you can use for sharing with the student. And they also, okay, let's see if I want to, let me copy. And now edit. In this edit, you can cut the video, make shorter. You can move the question to the right, to the left. And then when you finish, you can assign to the Spanish or to add a new class. You can search for the new class you have. It's a Google Classroom. And then you can, because you have to tell beforehand what classroom are you going to assign. But let's say I want to assign to the Spanish, so they go straight to the Google Classroom that you are working on. In the account, they ask you beforehand to enter your Google Classroom later. So that's another website that I want to share with you. And I use that for the Spanish class. If I go to the classwork, you probably will see on the video, I have few already assigned and the different time that I post the video. So the student need to work on that. Let me see the first one. This is the oldest one. And the student didn't turn in. So it's still like to be gray, this one. There is one thing that I want to mention on that, because sometimes the student do a homework, but they didn't mark as done in the Google Classroom, but you can still go to the website and check if they really did or no. Sometimes when you assign something to the student, you have to tell the student, okay, you have to mark as done, otherwise it will show as missing in your class. And this is something that still Google Classroom don't handle well, because sometimes they do the assignment, but they didn't click on ID already, and then they show as a missing. But I know that they did because I go to the website and check myself if they really did, and then the grade will be there.
Is there any way they can just go back in and check it and show it as done without having to go through the whole assignment again?
Yeah, they can do that, but that will be shown as a late.
Okay.
But yes, they can do that. But okay, that will be the only manual thing that you need to keep in mind when they are doing that, because sometimes they really do the home. That happens particularly with the younger student. They do something and they don't mark as done. Mm-hmm. And then you say, okay, but I normally do like a double checking, go back to the website and check if they really did, and I will give the grade anyways. Okay. Even if it's not on Google Classroom, I most of the time will give the grade. Okay. Okay, guys, I think this is most of the info that I want to share with you. Two external tool that I use with my student online. Again, I use a lot of, my students spend like probably 2/3 of the time that I have home. Not 2/3, but I think I'm teaching 1/3 and 2/3 is online. It's what I'm trying to say. In my daytime job in high school that I'm teaching currently. So I use a lot of online tools. This is not the only one. I have another one that I will recommend you to have a look to that one. I forgot to mention that on quizzes, you can create your own quiz, okay? You don't have to borrow somebody else. You can create your own quiz. This is another website, I think it's based in Canada, and there is a lot of worksheet and tests in language and science and math, so you can use those too. And they are already pre-made, but you can create your own, like English language. Let me scroll down a little bit. They classify by reading, by grammar, by grade, and that will be useful if we are now exploring the homeschooling, because it starts from the kindergarten all the way to 12th grade. And you can find many ideas and many quizzes. Let me go to hyphens. You open that, you will see different questions on the topic. And you can also, this one is, there is a free version, but I pay for this one actually. but there is a free version with more limitation. You probably saw on the screen here that some of them have a lock. The one that has the no, I think language doesn't have any, but math, the one that you see with the lock close means you have to pay for them. It's not like a free one. But I think language, you can see language, most of them are open.
How much is a subscription, Luis? You know?
This one, I can go to my account. I don't know, $39, I think, a year.
Okay, I can get this for you guys, for everybody, if we think that it's something that we want to use.
Yeah, my advice will be the following. Try to explore the free version first. I spent like probably 6 months working with the free version, and then I realized I need the other one too. So I start paying for the other one. Actually, I had a plan here. I think if I click on this link, okay, the $39 a year.
Okay, cool. So we can try it out, and then if anybody decides that it's, you really want to have the paid version.
And this is for group and business, so for school and business, up to 30 users. Maybe that will be a year, $200 a year. So that's not.
On most of the other subscriptions that we have, I just pay for 1 year for one user, and then everyone shares a login, and it's fine.
Yeah. Okay. This is most, unless you have any question, this is more or less what I have for you today. As I mentioned before, the slide presentation in Spanish, still Spanish. Let me change to the Google PD, Google Classroom PD. I share one slide, should be online now. Phrase, assignment. Yeah, it should be post anytime. I think I post, yeah. Did I? Yeah. Today, tutorial, yeah. And again, Classroom, you have all these choices here. And the Google now made this thing I found useful. If you want to modify the order, you can place the quiz on top or after the video. That's another feature they introduced. And the most important part that I will recommend you to use is this question mark here. Is sending Google feedback. Okay, I want to see this in Google Classroom. I want this on the Google Classroom. I want to try this. So I keep sending feedback like, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And most of the time they will fix or try to, you know, to help you with your request, because I know they are looking at the recommendation we sent to them.
It's good to know.
Mm-hmm. Actually, they ask any user, please send us your feedback. We really appreciate that. And they insist you to send feedback because that's the way they keep improving.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Does anybody have any questions for Luis?
I think I missed the initial, like, how do you get into the Google Classroom? Because I came into the meeting a little late.
Okay, there are 2 ways. Let me go to classes again.
So if I just have a Google search, do I literally just Google like Google Classroom and it comes up?
Yeah,
or?
yeah. And you have 2 choices after that. You can click on the plus sign here, and they will say join or create. If you join, it's an existing class that will be as a student. If you create one, that it will be as a teacher, right?
Okay.
And for, let's say, for the PD today, if you want to see this is the code for joining the classroom, but you can modify this one anytime, okay?
Yeah.
I have a quick question. So, for example, I have my Google Classroom and I have folders for each of my students. And I want to share the classroom with them, but I don't want them to be able to access all the other students' folders. Do I share the class code and then share the folder individually with the students?
Yeah, you can do the following. Let me give you one example. You it's a just an announcement or like a material or something. So you create a material thing and say, okay, Luis folder, right?
Mm-hmm.
On here, you have to pick the name of the student that you want to share that.
Got it.
You will have the list. I don't have anyone join this one classroom yet, but you will have, let me see if I can go back to the Spanish, and that will be more like a real thing. Let me go quickly to the Spanish. Okay, I go to the classwork and I say, okay, I'm going to share a material with one of my students, only for Kelly. And I click here and I select Kelly, and then I go to my drive and I pick the folder that I want to share with her. I go here, actually my drive, sorry. And let's say I want to share with her this one. Actually, I think it should be a link. You need to share the folder first in Drive and then sharing the link with the student. That's something I forgot to mention. Rather than sharing directly here, you need to make you have to make a link of that folder first, and that will be the one that you will share with her. So every time she click the link, she will have access to that. The same way you were sharing before the student folder, you have a link for that. How? If you go to Drive, this is my Drive, and I think if I go to any folder like first semester grade, okay? I right click, share, and get a link. And that will be the link you will copy link, and that will be the link you will share with the student. That will be one way to share a folder with a particular student, a whole folder. You copy the link, and then you go to the Google Classroom and cancel this and say link, and paste the link here. Add the link, and that will be the one that will be sharing with the student. You can make, well, you know how to shorten the link, right? Or just leave it as it is if you want to, and then posting, and she will have access to every single thing you have. But be careful, because she can also modify some of the document in that particular folder, like deleting, editing, because she will have like a full access. I think in Google Drive you can limit, like you can tell that they can view only, because notice that I have by default organize, add, and edit. But if you set to view only, they cannot modify anything. So you can say anyone more. Yeah, there is choices here. Only a specific people, share with a specific people, or anyone with the link. So can view only. So that's the thing that you need to keep in mind when sharing a folder with any student, because they will be eventually having access to modifying or editing any documents. So that happened before with us when we were sharing. I mean, not with us, with you guys, with another teacher. We were, erasing, deleting, and that was really messy for us to share. But then we learned that we need to put some restrictions. But the good thing is the student, once you share a folder with the student can copy to their own drive, and they never had to touch the one that you share with them. Because once they receive the sharing option, they will say, copy to my drive. That's then they can work on that, modify whatever they want, and they will be their own.
That's good.
Any other questions related to Google Classroom or how to handle Drive or Form? Remember, we can, if you are interested about how to create online quizzes, I can also eventually work with you on that, because that will be another feature that you can explore. There is a lot of choices on Google Form for quizzes and online assessment and all the things.
And we can have a PD for things like that too. There's a program called Typeform that we have a subscription to, and you're able to, I don't know, some of you might have seen on like social media that we'll say, you know, we have like a free proficiency quiz, and that's something that Luis and a couple of other teachers and I put together. And so here, I'll show you guys really quickly. But this is something that if we want, we can incorporate with like the quizzes and different things just so there's options. Luis, can I share my screen really quickly?
Yeah.
So I'll take that. So.
This can be like a little bit time consuming to get like used to it, but it's really cool. So for example, okay, here's a proficiency quiz. A little slow. All right, so I can, it's like kind of a lot on like the back end. This one is anyways. But it ends up looking like this. And I can just like Kelly, Italian, like this. So this one and this will like go through. So if I, yeah, actually, I don't know Italian, so let's not do it.
Italian, yes.
Let's just say English to make it quick. All right. So, all right, I can continue going through and getting these ones right. And then it'll say, all right. Then it takes you essentially to like the intermediate round, 5 questions. You pass, I think I said this, the first round you have to get all 5 right. The next one, you can miss like 1 and then it'll push you to advanced. And then at the very end, hold on. This way. And all 4 of the languages that we have this in, it's the same content for the questions all the way through. Okay. And then the last one. All right, it's optional for them to leave their email, and then we'll email them with like their specific answers, but this is even something you can use in class. And then, yay, okay.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Interesting.
But
yeah, I didn't know about that one.
I forgot to send, like you guys did all the work on the back end for the quizzes, and I forgot to send you the link to show you what it looked like. But yeah, and then otherwise it'll show you like, actually, I'm not going to show you this one because you'll just be like, oh my God, it's so confusing and I'll never do it. But we could include that into like a PDF for using resources. But this is, okay, say they miss a couple on the beginning round. So then it'll automatically link them over to like, okay, do you want to share your email? And then congratulations, like you're a beginning Spanish speaker, whatever.
That's
so
great.
It's something fun to be able to share with like prospective students, but it's also something we can use in our classes. I don't know why I haven't.
Yeah,
You guys, we did it a couple months ago, but people really like it. So yeah, so if we want to do a PD at some point, and I can send out an email and think about dates and things, Luis can share a lot of the resources that he has. Everybody else, there's different things that you really like, and we can all kind of collaborate.
Yeah, even if, or I mean, in between PDF, if somebody had a question like, how can I find this or how can I use that? Because I show you two of them, but there are many other tools. Actually, I'm using right now like 7 of them for different things, for video, for quizzes, for classes. So there are so many things now that, well, sometimes it's overwhelming because even Microsoft already have a form type. I mean, if you have a Microsoft account and you have online, I mean, Office 365, they already create that. And I just knew 2 days ago that Microsoft is releasing a sort of Chromebook, not Chromebook, of course, they will have another name for 150 something dollar that will be added to the school because they want to compete with Google, providing different tools to the school. And I'm pretty sure they will come with so many useful tools for teaching online. So that will be an excellent opportunity to look after, because I know that Microsoft is trying to get involved on that educational thing that Google went really far away. I mean, it's leading that.
And it'll be good for us to stay on top of as much of the materials and everything and programs that are being used in schools right now, just because then we'll be able to streamline things, especially with like the kids, like be able to streamline things into their lessons that they're already used to the platforms.
Yeah.
Okay. Really quickly, Allie had messaged me before she left that she asked if we could create a Google Classroom just for the teachers, right? And so everybody will have like teacher access. We can be using the stream when we have questions, or there's different materials that we want to share, and then we can keep things organized for, here's the French stuff, here's the Spanish stuff, here's the different topics. And I think, Luis, with that, we can also select something that we like and just share it into our own classrooms, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so that would be really easy, I think, especially for like planning and stuff. And then I will create a Google Classroom for each teacher, and I'll create a folder for each of the students. So it'll just be done for you. And I'm going to put something together to email the students to let them know just kind of briefly about the change. I'm going to find some kind of like brief intro video, so they're not like, oh my God, what in the world are they doing? And they can just see really quickly, okay, this all makes sense. And then you know what, I can just do that individually with the students, and I'll share the code with them for the classrooms. So it'll just be set for you. Does that sound good?
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
All right.
The other thing that I want to mention about Google Classroom is you can use that in any device, even with the Apple device. You can use it in an iPad, iPhone, and many of these. So there is no limitation. As long as you have a browser, that will be ready for you. You don't have to install anything in the device.
That's nice.
Yeah. So that will make faster. And I use a lot of Chromebooks, and that will is really fast access to Google Classroom, because it's made to be, it's Google OS, Chrome OS, and that's why it's just all like it's flying. I love Chromebooks.
They're kind of like Macs, where they essentially can't get viruses, right?
Yeah. And the other thing, they don't have to load any OS. It's web-based, so you don't have to. Yeah, it's web-based, so you don't have anything. Actually, you just have few things in your SSD in your hard drive. So booting a Chromebook will take 2 seconds, 3 seconds, and you have everything on your screen right away. And you close it, and if by any chance your Chromebook was, broke or it's malfunctioning, you get another one and it's ready in another one. It's like, you have a computer everywhere. You have a Chromebook. You have everything. You don't lose anything everything is cloud-based, so you don't have to worry like, oh, I lost my computer and I lost a file. No anymore.
That's nice, especially for schools and kids because they drop and lose everything. You don't want it to be expensive either. That's nice.
Yeah, they only need email and a password. That's the only thing they need. And I mean, I have a 30-something Chromebook in my room, and sometimes they forgot to charge them, and this is dying. It's not. They don't have enough power or battery, and say get another one, and they keep working. It's just like that. It's just like that. Get another one, and it's in second. The computer is up, and even I'm using Chromebook for teaching. Most of the teachers are using it still. But for I had a touch screen, a big one, and that's fantastic. I mean, I'm in love with that until the next device appears. I mean, until the next one.
All right. So I'm going to share this video onto the Google Classroom for the teachers. So you can go back and review anything. And then for the ones that aren't here, they all wanted to have a copy of it. So makes sense. Good. And then as questions come up, as things arise that you want to share, resources, whatever, then we'll have one spot to do it.
Sounds good.
Cool.
All right. Okay, well, thank you guys for joining us today. Thank you so much, Elise.
Okay, you're very welcome.
Yes, for sure.
Thank you.
That was awesome.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Have a good day,
Bye-bye.
everybody.
Yeah.
Bye.